So I am rolling here.
Yeah. Rolling? Yeah. Good.
I'm gonna clap in front of your face just to get these guys aligned. Hey,
Okay.
how you feeling? Good. Great.
I guess that's why I'm so little.
Do you wanna clap with me? This journey really started in visiting the First Nation of Nutchinagdan and often going to speak about the Peel watershed. And every time we went to talk about the Peel, people kept bringing up the Beaver River watershed and their concern over the proposed road development.
This route has quite a diversity of landscapes. You know, you start by paddling down McQuestion Lake, and then you start into these tiny little winding creeks and into a little pond, to another winding creek, pond, bigger lake, more creeks, then into the Beaver River, and finally the Stewart River. So it's very different from any other trip I've done in the Yukon, just because of that variety of terrain.
I really wanted to come on this trip because I knew my family, my ancestors, they traveled this river from the Northwest Territories, and I just really wanted to see what they had to go through and where they came from. Also just to see what's on my traditional territory.
The reason we're out here in the Beaver River watershed is because of a proposed mining exploration road, 65 kilometers long, the distance between Whitehorse and Carcross. So a very significant road, and people are worried about impacts on moose and salmon, all the stream crossings, over 70 stream crossings. And people are concerned about the increased access that this road will bring to this area, both for hunting pressure, but for future development. That's the real worry, that this 65-kilometer road will become a spider web of roads. You know, mining is important to the Yukon economy as an activity, but places like this are disappearing across the globe, across Canada, and increasingly across Yukon, and they're more and more precious.
As soon as you build roadways, you have a scar and then a possible sound corridor and an impact corridor and a visual corridor. And when I think of the salmon we saw today, for instance, they are, to me, like canaries. They have a very sensitized need for particular water quality, temperature, and lack of pollutants. But those little salmon coming out of the eggs have to get back down to the ocean, and we tend to forget it. You know, it's just an amazing process to have, but you need to have clean waters and quality temperature waters to do that.
I'm collecting data for the Beaver River land use planning on the First Nation side, because it gives us a better understanding of what we know, what baseline we have. So the mining company in the area, it's called ATAC Explorations, and they have a proposed road that they want to put through here. And the proposed road is supposed to go across this river and go along on this other side here to their mining camp. So this is it. I gotta do about 4 samples along this river. This will be number 1, where the bridge is gonna be. And then as we go along the river, I'm gonna test more sites. And if it does go through, we'll see the changes as we test the water.
I've never done any trip like this before, so it was interesting to see how hard I can push myself and what I'm capable of doing. I'm really glad that NND citizens got to come out here. People that don't really have the chance to get out here by themselves to see the land before it was touched, before any mining activity developed.
My name is Jessie Germain. I'm an elder from NND. I was born in Mayo and I presently live in Whitehorse. You open a road and no matter how they say it's private and whatever, it's still, I mean, you're going to have more and more people coming around, and you know, the wilderness is so untouched that it's it should be left that way.
The Yukon is relatively unspoiled compared to vast areas of the world and lots of the rest of Canada. So we have a real chance to preserve some of this amazing terrain. I also think there are just some places that you just don't mine. Like you wouldn't go into the Sistine Chapel and mine it. You know, there are just places like that that are out here that are as precious, as beautiful, as important as places like that. So just leave them alone.
I do think that hope lies with people coming together and listening to each other and making a space for listening to each other. And I think hope lies with the young people. I'd said it that I really hope that one day the youth on this trip are elders who are guiding people on this river and explaining the importance of it, and that it's still just as unspoiled as it is today.
Planning ahead, are ya? Well, yeah.